Okay, just bear with me as I get it all going. All right, guys, I'm Miss Neal, and most of y'all should know me. And I'm going to be working in your student workbooks that you've been using in your history classes along with your history teachers. Today we're going to talk about promotion and graduation requirements for high school and all the fun requirements that go along with that. Most likely next month, the high school counselors will come to us, probably in a similar platform such as this, and they will be actually talking about the real registration. So this can kind of work in tandem in that it's going to give you a little bit of background and hopefully some good information. With these workbooks, I do ask that you bring them home and you share them with your families because it's great information for your parents and such to have. There is a workbook online, so teachers, I did send you that link. So if your e-learners need it and you haven't yet, just you can actually put that on your Google Classroom or whatever. But I will also be putting this presentation on the JMS website, hopefully. So you can follow along in your student workbooks. You can turn all the way to page 8, and we'll kind of be going through that book. And most of some of the pages will coincide with my slides, and some of my slides I'll kind of go into a little bit more depth. So I'm going to go ahead and start. The middle school promotion, the inside scoop to this is pass your classes and come to school. Regardless if you're a face-to-face learner or you're an e-learner, you need to attend your classes. Because we're on block schedule, instead of, it used to be 9 days per semester that you were allowed for unexcused absences throughout that semester. Well, now it's down to 4 because we're on block schedule. So as you know, we're kind of double timing it. So attendance as well as passing your core classes is very important. And that lets us look at, we actually look at all of your 6th, 7th, and 8th grade courses to be able to promote you to the high school. So we can say you satisfactorily completed your elementary and then, of course, your middle school grades to get you to high school. All right, so on page 9, I think, this is pretty much going to be like your Bible. This is everything about high school. This is what you need to know. This is what you need to do in order to earn your diploma by the time you are a high school senior. And hopefully it will happen not later than expected. So as long as you follow along with the courses and the credits that you need to earn by passing them, you should be able to graduate on time. So you don't have to change any pages because you guys remain on this page, but I'm going to kind of start to break it down. So all of this shows the 26 credits that you need. So we're going to start off with the first core, which would be English. Think of the magic number as 4. With your 4 cores, basically you need 4 of each. Okay. So with English, you need English 1, 2, 3, and 4. With math, same deal. You're going to need 4 cores of your math. Math is an interesting subject in that everybody's individual, everybody's at a different place. Whereas with English, everybody's going to start in English 1 and then go sequentially. But with math, some kids are already in algebra. Some kids are already in geometry. Some kids are not. Some kids are in pre-algebra, and that's completely fine. So we have to kind of see where you are so then we know where you're going to go. So as we get through the requirements, later on, we're actually going to look at a plan so you can see exactly the courses that you're supposed to take, the courses you're required to take, and which ones that most likely you will take in your freshman year, your sophomore year, your junior year, and your senior year. It's not written in stone, but I still want you to have a good understanding about it so when the high school counselors do come, you know what they're talking about. Also, your teachers are definitely going to be there to help you because your teachers are there to recommend you for classes, whether you're taking regular classes, honor classes, AP classes. Your teachers in each of the core classes, they are very well versed in their subjects, so they know they know a thing or two about their own subject, as well as just high school requirements in general. So never be afraid to ask your teachers. I'm always here as well. All right, I'm gonna keep going. So again, magic number is 4. Here we have science and social studies. For your science, you can have, it's going to show you the credits that you need to have. We have the biology, chemistry, physics route. We can get a little bit different. We have the integrated route, and then we have physical science thrown in there with biology. Again, talking to science teachers and working with your high school counselors, we can find the right spot for you. But if you look all the way at the bottom of this screen, it says students must earn 4 credits in science or social studies. Yes, magic number is 4, but you can kind of do one or the other. So maybe you are more interested in social studies. So maybe you're going to take more classes and more credits in social studies than you would science. Maybe you like them equally and you're going to take 4 and 4, completely fine. But just know that you have that to kind of balance off of. You can do 4 of one and 3 of the other, or vice versa. Okay, so that's what that means here. So here they show, like I said, they show you the sequence of your science. I'm going through this quickly because when we get to the plan, it breaks it out even more. So we're going to revisit this. So same idea with social studies. Here are your 3 credits that you have to take. Your social studies curriculum must include your world history, your U.S. history, and then government and economics. All right, in the middle of your big 26 credit requirement, you should see world languages. You need to have at least 2 credits in the same language sequentially. So if you are already taking Spanish 1, you're going to need to take Spanish 2, and hopefully you would take that the next following year. If Spanish is not a language you want, I can tell you in Merritt Island, I believe they have Spanish and German. If there's a different language and your high school that you're going to doesn't have it, you can always go online and you can take that course online and then be able to get your world language credits. Because this is required basically for the college track. A lot of the Florida State universities, as well as the Bright Futures Scholarship, requires you to have at least 2 years of a language. And then, of course, other schools in and out of the state of Florida, some require you to have at least, or want you to have at least more, or have at least 3 or more years of that foreign language. All right, performing fine arts, you have to have at least 1 credit. And when I say credit, a credit means actually a whole year. So first semester, you're only earning half credit. You're going to earn 0.5. So for performing arts, you could say, oh, maybe you picked ceramics and a speech class, because actually speech and debate is considered a performing fine art. And they are half credit, they're a semester each. So that would equal 0.5, 0.5, that would equal 1. So that's your 1 credit that would be required there. Thank goodness high school is not like us. They have more electives to offer. So don't feel like I'm only going to have to choose between 3 or 4 different types of performing or fine art. They have a plethora of them. So hopefully you will find something that you would enjoy, since you're required to take at least 1 credit. Physical education, you still have to have 1 credit, which would mean a whole year. And in this class, I can tell you it is a whole year worth of a course, and it's a particular course called the HOPE. It is your health course and a PE course kind of fused together. So if you're really interested in taking team sports or basketball or some other kind of PE class, of course you can take it. It'll just be just a general elective, but you have to specifically take the HOPE. And a lot of times, if you're going to Merritt Island, they may schedule you to have that in 9th or 10th grade. They just kind of want to get it done and out of the way so you can continue on taking other classes. And then you have to take a career research and decision-making course. If this is only a half credit or a 1 semester course. And then you see down here at the bottom, you have 8.5 credits of general electives. So these are actually classes you get to pick. So that's kind of the fun of high school, is finding classes, maybe something that you want to go into, the FAME or the Da Vinci academies, And hopefully when the high school gives us more than information, you'll understand what those are if you don't know just yet. Maybe some of their electives will, are along those lines. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, they're telling me I have to take all these classes. It's not going to be any fun. Nope, you do have some say in the classes that you get to elect to take. Minus these up here that you have to, but it's not too bad. In some of the cases, you can find that doing a varsity or a JV sport for a couple of years can suffice. You can take that instead of taking the hope. There's little things that high school counselors can work with you to maybe exempt you from a certain course if you took a different course in its spot. High school does want you to take either honor classes or taking some career and technical education courses. So we know everybody's different. Some kids are, honor class driven. They want to take all honors or AP classes or very, very high advanced classes. And of course, we're always going to try and push you to think that way, because it's just how we are. That's our nature in Brevard County. But yet we understand that not all students are alike. We get that. Everybody's different, and some students aren't going to be taking at least 3 or more of the honor classes. So that doesn't mean, oh my gosh, I'm not going to graduate now. Nope, we have other categories that you can fall into. You can take a CTE course, and what this means is the Career and Technical Education Program of Study. So for instance, Merritt Island would have their web design course. They have web design 1, 2, and 3. They have a child care course. Again, it's a sequential 1, 2, and 3 course. So you would earn your 3 credits in one of those CTE series. They have other ones, but those are just some that come to mind. They do have a performing fine arts series as well. You need 4 in that case. So it's not just pure academics. I have to be an honors kid. I have to take at least 3 classes or 3 credits of an honors to graduate. They will let you do other ways, because then it's almost like you're trying to get it to a trade, because maybe you're interested in working in computers or going into childcare or going into food care or going into auto mechanics or something along that line. So they are trying to encompass everybody and not just look at one way versus the other. I move on. All right, you do one of those fun things you have to do. You have to take a class online. I do have kids that have already said, oh, Ms. Neal, I've taken a class online, but it wasn't a high school class. You have to make sure, because the criteria is it has to be a high school course that you are taking online. So driver's ed is a very popular one. You have to be 14 and a half. So usually my 8th graders will take that over the summer because they just want to kind of take it on its own. It's a very short, it's a 0.5 credit. So it's a 1 semester course. It's very quick. Both of my children did it in a matter of a couple weeks. I mean, that's how quick this class can go, because you kind of pace it yourself. So that would be a class that you could earn online requirement, and it's a high school elective. So kind of 2 birds there with 1 stone. But you can also, there's other classes. Like I said prior, you can, maybe there's a world language class that your high school doesn't have that you want to take it online, and you can satisfy your online credit. So at some point during your high school years, you have to take a high school course. Now, can you do it now? Yes, as long as it's a high school course. So from this point out, as long as you have at least 1 class that you have taken online at a high school level, you will satisfy this credit here. Okay, so some kids have already done that. So I had some kids working on it last summer. That's fine. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, now I'm behind. Nope, you have this summer to think about it. You have the following summers after that. Merritt Island actually offers a lab, and they have it as one of the periods of their day, and you would go there and you would take a class in the lab, but you're taking it through Florida Virtual, and you're satisfying your online requirement. So there's ways around it. So don't feel like, oh no, maybe you don't have internet access at home. That's okay, because you can do that at the school. All right. This is just talking about some of the pages that are in your workbook, so I'm going to kind of push through this one. This is a sheet here for students and parents, which is why I really encourage you to bring home this book. Because hopefully, yes, it's information for you, because this is driving your education and how or when you're going to graduate, but it's also great for your parents to understand this as well. So a lot of the stuff I just kind of went through is in here as well, talking about different types of diploma, online things, the CTE courses, and all that fun stuff. So you don't have to read everything. It's in your book to take home. All right. In high school, you have different acceleration options. Because you think here in middle school, we have regular classes and we have advanced classes. And that's pretty much it. In high school, you have several other options to think about. You can take a class at a regular level. You can take a class at an advanced level. But in high school, they call it an honors level. Well, just like here in middle school, we offer classes at a high school level, so you can earn high school credit early. Well, high school has their version of that, but for them, they can offer college coursework. So you can take a class at a college level and earn college credit to help you get ahead. And the cool thing is it's free since you're taking it as a Brevard County public school student. So that would be something like right here, this would be your AP classes, advanced placement. And all high schools would have these. I mean, certain high schools have certain classes at AP levels, but Merritt Island has a handful of these classes. We have the, I'm sorry, AP's down here. We have the dual enrollment program, where this is where you are leaving the high school campus, and actually we partner up with Eastern Florida State College, and you would actually be taking a college course with them. And as long as you pass the class, you've earned your college credit. Again, free. With the AP, there is an exam that you have to take. You have to pass the exam in order to have your college credit. Then there are certain high schools that will have this option, which would be the Cambridge. I have some students that have already asked me about Cambridge and the IB programs. Well, only these here that I'm pointing at are the high schools that will allow you to do the Cambridge and the IB. Basically, this is another college level work, so you can earn college credits early. And then the high school's big one, this one, let me get to it. Jump to it. This is also a page in your workbook. This is the big one though. This is the collegiate high school program. This is a very intense, rigorous type program where you are kind of double timing high school and college. So you're satisfying your requirements for high school graduation as well as your first 2 years of college. And the cool thing for parents that their ears usually open to listen to is that it's free. But again, these are programs that are an option for you. These aren't things that you have to do. I have students that do part. I have some kids that will want to do an AP class. They want to do enrollment. They don't necessarily want to do the whole collegiate high school program. Again, high school should be very individualistic to you. It's what best suits you. We don't want you to think you have to do this, and then all of a sudden at the end of the day, you're just burnt out. And then your grades you're struggling, and it's not a good situation. So we're going to try and put you in a track that works for you, which this is where your teachers come into play, your counselors come into play, yourself and your family comes into play. You all have to think about what's best for you. The high school counselors will talk about this. Again, they're very well versed in it. It's like I said, it's their baby. But I just wanted you to have a little bit of information about that. This kind of just breaks down even more the AP portion of the programs that they offer. Again, this is another way to receive college credit. So advanced placement classes happen on the high school campus. Dual enrollment would be off the high school campus. But then your IB programs as well as your Cambridge, it's another type, it's an extension of your advanced placement classes, because again, it's college coursework. Okay. So then moving on to probably, I don't know, the next page in your book. Now we're going to kind of look a little bit more in depth with each of the core classes, thinking the classes that you are required to take. So here we have our math. Again, our famous number is 4. We know we have to take at least 4 credits of our math. And again, we all kind of start at different spots here, because some of you already have algebra or geometry, or you don't yet. So depending on what you're taking right now, you can look at it. So like, for instance, if you're sitting in algebra now, or pre-algebra, next year you're going to be taking algebra, because you're taking the, kind of like an intro course into it. If you are already sitting in algebra now, well, then you can look on right here, and it shows you the classes that you would be going to. It kind of gives you an idea. If you're doing well in it, you're going to go straight to geometry. If you weren't doing well in it, they may say, hey, let's take another math class to then make sure you are ready then to take the geometry the next year. So this just kind of tells you where you are and where you could go. So I like the fact that this is in the book, because then you can kind of look at it later and have an idea. And plus, you don't have to memorize that. You know, the college track courses go algebra, geometry, algebra 2, pre-cal. This kind of, you know, it's there for you, so you don't have to even memorize that. And then all the fun small print down at the bottom talking about EOCs and things like that. And then different ways that you can get credit for this and that. But I can tell you, you have to take algebra and geometry. So somewhere along your high school career, between now and then, you definitely have to have that in order to graduate. All right, your science sequences. Again, it's divided here into the 4 years of high school. So you can see the different types of options. You have your biology, chemistry, physics route. Then they have kind of a physical science, biology, but notice biology is a common thread in both tracks, so to speak. And then you have the opportunity, if you wanted to take a fourth science, they call that your, sorry, my watch is going off. They call that our equally rigorous types of courses, and they have it right here for you, and it kind of breaks it down to like astronomy, anatomy, marine science, and things like that as a fourth science. So you kind of get to choose. They don't tell you which one. You do have to take that lovely career class. Again, it's only 1 semester, so you'll either take it first or second semester next year, because Merritt Island likes to put freshmen in that class, just the one, get it over with, since it is a requirement. And it is a decent course to kind of give you a good idea about high school and thinking about different career paths and different courses that you probably would have to take in order to pursue certain types of degrees. So it's a good class to take in the beginning of your high school career. All right. Remember when I talked about your CTE courses, your career and technical education courses? This breaks this down into all of the high schools in Brevard County. So each year this changes a little bit because certain schools offer certain courses. Like for instance, if you wanted to be a pilot, I can tell you Eau Gallie High School actually has a pilot training program. They actually have a hangar, they have an airplane, a smaller airplane in there, and they do mechanic work and things like that. So that would be a special type of vocational program or CTE program for students to go to. So you would have to opt into that program there. Merritt Island does like childcare, they do a food and nutrition, they have a web design, engineering type courses. So again, you'd have to look at each high school. So if there's a particular course of study that you're thinking about and a certain high school offers that, you know, maybe you would go to a different high school instead of Merritt Island or whatever. This will be on the website because unfortunately the district didn't send me enough of these pamphlets. But if you ever have a question about it, you can always come see me and we can go through it together. But I'm sure you'll be getting them when you get into high school because, again, they update them every year and they'll make sure you have one. All right, GPAs. This is something that we definitely need to stress upon because this would be talking about grades. Grades, your letter grades that you earn on tests and your semesters and all that, we're gonna, sorry, my email's going crazy. You can equate them to a numeric score. So we give quality points. So if you earned an A, that's 4 points and so on. So that's right here, like that's just a regular normal GPA. Well, remember, I talked about those different acceleration options in high school. Well, we can break that down even more into our GPAs. So those harder courses or those honor courses or their AP or Cambridge or dual enrollment, we know they're harder. We know they're more rigorous and vigor into that program. So they actually, if you earned an A or B or so forth, you can notice that your honors level, it's a 0.5 higher. So instead of an A just being 4 points, it's 4.5. If you're doing a dual enrollment, this is your college level coursework, it's actually a whole point higher. So you could earn a B in your AP class, but it's 4 points. So what does that do? It helps pad or weight your GPA. So this is how students graduate with above a 4.0 because they're taking classes at honors levels or AP or dual enrollment level. So it's higher than just the plain 4, 3, 2, 1. Of course, across the board for an F is always 0 quality points because if you fail a semester, you have to retake that course because you did not earn the credit. And then you'll come up credit short, and then it's a big deal. So you really want to look at this category right up here. A's and B's, maybe some C's, but I tell you, if you're college is, can be very competitive. So you really want to have the higher the grades, the better. So I would just don't even think about D's and F's. So look above that. All right. We have scholarships. State of Florida offers 4 state programs. And basically here's a breakdown of the criteria. They change this sometimes yearly, sometimes every other year. A lot of the times the things that change would be test scores. But you notice there's certain high school courses that they mandate you to take. There's a required GPA. So again, this is where the A's and the B's really come into play. Your test scores for your ACT or your SATs, and then some PERTs at the bottom. And then of course, volunteer hours. So doing all of that, for each type of scholarship, you can see what you would have to do in order to earn college money. And a scholarship means you don't have to pay it back. This is not a student loan. This is the state of Florida giving you money to use towards college, and it pays tuition, which is very costly. So it's kind of a great deal. These aren't the only scholarships by any means. You could Google all day different types of scholarships, and every scholarship out there is different. And some, of athletic scholarships, you hear about them all the time, or music scholarships, or certain types of special talents, not just academic scholarships. So don't feel like, well, maybe I'm not, that type of student that's always going to have the 4 O's or the 5 O's or whatever. Nope. Other students get scholarships for many different types of reasons. So don't feel like it's always just academic. I mean, a lot of them are academic, but we do have some talents and such, sports and things like that. All right, if you turn your workbook all the way to the back, you should see your 4-year plan. This is what I was referring to earlier. When the high school comes, they used to have the sheet and they would go through it with you. But now the high school kind of just goes year by year. But they do want us to go through this so you can kind of see how each year kind of progresses to the next. So the way you would read this for grade 9, you read it down in the columns. So here you have your English, your math, your science, your social studies, and then you have 3 boxes down here of different electives. Right here, the smaller column down the side, this is showing you the amount of credits. Because remember, our core classes, these 4, that's our magic number 4. So they want you to have your 1 credit here, 1 credit here, and so forth, all the way down. Because hopefully next year, well, we know we'll be back to our 7-period day. So by the end of the year, you would have earned 7 credits. Now, high school is a little bit different than middle school. We take first semester and second semester and we average them together for a final grade. High school is not like that. High school will take first semester, whatever grade you earn, that goes into your GPA, that goes onto your transcript. It's done. And as long as you earned an A, B, C, or D, you've passed and you've earned that 0.5 credit. And then they go to the second semester. Whatever you earn, A, B, C, or D, you get your 0.5 credits. If you happen to earn an F, whether it's first semester or second semester, you don't get that credit. What does that mean? Well, it means you have to make it up. You're going to have to take that class again because you would be lacking that 0.5 credit, because we take the first semester and second semester credits and we add them together to get that 1. And then we go all the way down. So all the way across, you will see we do it by subject. So here's all your Englishes that you're going to need from freshman year to senior year. We have all your maths, all your sciences, and all your social studies. And then here's your electives, and you see a lot of blank lines because here you can elect to take certain classes, whether they're academic classes or fun classes, so to speak. But they did squeeze in your HOPE, your career class. They even gave you the reminder that you need to take that foreign language. So there's a couple required classes that they do make you take as an elective, but for the most part, you do have freedom to choose different types of electives. So now I'm going to break it down a little bit more. We're going to go by each of our 4 cores, and just so you can look a little bit more. But here, these are great conversations to be having with your teachers, because I can tell you between now and next month, when these teachers or these high school counselors are going to come and give us the registration, you're really going to be thinking about, well, what am I going to take in the 9th grade? And how do I know? And well, your teachers are going to help you with this, because they're actually going to recommend you to take certain classes over others. Electives and such, you're going to, you'll get to pick. They'll show you the electives that they offer, and you get to pick them, minus, the career class that they kind of shove on there for you. But you'll get to pick those. But your academic classes, your 8th grade teachers here are going to help recommend you. And what do they use? Well, they're going to use what type of student you are, what type of effort do you put forth in your work, what kind of grades do you make, whether I have a regular student or do I have an honors level student, or even beyond. So really start to take pride in your work, because between now and senior year, you can drive your academic and your choices here, and what types of classes you get, because you're going to get what you earn. All right, so 9th grade, you see, you're going to be taking some form of English 1, whether it's regular, whether it's honors, whether maybe it's a pre-AP class if they have them, and then all the way through. So it goes all the way across your 4-year plan. So you could even kind of, check, yep, I know I'm going to take an English 1 class. You can jot down, oh, I want it to be advanced or honors. Or nope, I want it to be regular. So again, this is just a plan. This is not set in stone. This is just an idea of what, when we do get to registration, the classes that, most likely will be on your registration, and what is going to be on your schedule. You're going to have your 4 classes. And then your electives are usually your fun part of what classes you get. All right, math. Again, we all have different starting points. So depending on where you are, will determine where you're going to go. At some point, you're going to be taking algebra and geometry. So you can see the idea of the courses. And some may be a little further than others, and that's completely fine. But as long as we have that magic number of 4, we're good. So again, this goes back up to your plan. You can read it all the way across, and shows you the different types of math. And as you get up in your years, further on in your years, by the time you're a junior or a senior, you actually can take more than 1 math class if you happen to be that type of student. Maybe you are that driven engineering, medical professions are in your thought, business, things with numbers. Maybe you want to take more of these math classes, different types of calculus and statistics and things like that, because these are going to be classes that help you in life after high school. Because our job is to help you get to high school, and high school's job is trying to help you with life after high school, which for most of you would be college. Okay. Science, recommended science progressions. Again, you can see the different types of tracks, the different classes you can take. If you want to take that 4th science, different electives, you have these to choose from. And there it is on your plan. Again, the different ones, and you can kind of check. And if you look over here, the total here, you can see the totals. And yes, I know they say 4 and 4 for both science and social studies. We do know that one of them could be 3 and you would be okay. But you can do 4 in both of them, and that's completely fine as well. Social studies should be next. Here, your teachers that you're staring at, Mr. Turner and Mr. Fanuff, they understand this a lot, and they will be helping direct you into whatever recommendations that they have for you as a 9th grader. So which type of world history class, whether it's regular or honors. A lot of times, or usually high school will tell us that they have an AP class. So and usually that's in a social studies course. So maybe that's another thought. And so these types of questions you can refer to your social studies teacher, and they can help you with that. So again, you see the classes. Remember your government and your economics over here. They have underneath the grade 11, your junior year. These are half or one semester courses each. So whereas like world history and US history here, these are year longs. These two are a year together. Okay, so here you see it down on your plan, going all the way across. So that kind of shows you the progression there. Like 9th grade, I'm taking world history, then US history, and so forth. And then if you're interested, you can take that social studies elective or electives. And again, they still want me to make sure that you don't forget that you have to take the HOPE. You have to take the career research. You have to take a fine arts credit. So they kind of keep sneaking that in. And then the world language, your foreign language. And don't wait too long if you know you definitely want to take your foreign language and you're going to college and all that fun stuff. Don't wait too long because you're going to need it. So if you all of a sudden you're a senior and you haven't taken your foreign language, we have to take 2 years of it. So now we're going to have an issue. Okay, so the latest, obviously, yes, you could take it as a junior and just do 11th grade and 12th grade, but you may really, really love it and want to take that 3rd year. So why wait too long? I would think about starting, if you haven't started it yet with us, then I would think about taking it in your 9th or starting in your 10th. You know, actually, I wouldn't even do any later than 10th grade because at least you could take it, you could take 3 if you really wanted. And that shows that you went above and beyond, which is always a good thing. All right, so there, all the electives are at the bottom of your 4-year plan. The ones, of course, that they're making you take. And then they want to remind you about your world language or your foreign language. And then the other lines are for other classes that you decide, ooh, I want to take this for fun because it's something you've been interested in, or it's something that you know is going to help you life after high school, or what have you. Or it's just a class you had nothing better to choose from. Okay, and then that pretty much is it in a nutshell. I apologize if that seemed too quickly, but I'm kind of racing against the clock since I know it's a shortened day. This is a fun forum since I don't see any of your faces and I don't know questions and such that you may have, but you always know you can find me. You guys see me every day at lunch duty, unless I'm testing or something. So any types of questions you can always come up and ask me, ask your teachers. They know it. If they don't, they'll refer you to me anyway. My e-learners email, I've had kids email me questions even already today. So feel free to do that. And other than that, I'm done. Happy Friday. Enough? Turner, you guys good?
No, as soon as you guys are done, I need mine to stay on.
Want your zoomies? I got it.
Yeah, I'm only going to be a minute.
Oh, doesn't bother me.
Mr.
I just
Fidel can go first, and his kids can tap out, and then.
All right, Mr. FNF, if you're done, you can go, and then I'll just know not to end the meeting for all.
Thank you. You guys can go ahead and log out and put everything away. Zoomers, give me a minute, and I'll be with you. Can we stop recording?
There you go.